I'm really happy to be hosting Nallely Magan, a-Montiel to discuss her recent PLOS ONE Lab Protocol paper entitled XTT Assay for Detection of Bacterial Metabolic Activity in Water-Based Polyester Polyurethane and the associated detailed protocol in protocols.io. Nallely is currently a PhD student at the Institute of Biotechnology of the National Autonomous University of Mexico. She obtained her master's at the School of Chemistry in the same university in 2014. Her current research focuses on marine bacteria that are capable of degrading plastic, focusing on the Gulf of Mexico. Nallely, thank you so much for being here.
Have me here. I'm happy to share with all you my experience working with this protocol.
And to kick off, can you briefly explain what the protocol is about, how to use it, and why it is relevant?
Yes, thank you. This protocol was originally designed for the detection of bacterial metabolic activity in a water-based polyester polyurethane, with the advantage that it can be adapted to different types of plastics and liquid culture media, even for marine conditions like is the subject of our laboratory research. This method consists in the use of the tetrasodium salt XTT, which in these conditions will be reduced by the action of respiratory enzymes in active cells into a water-soluble orange dye that can be quantitatively measured using a microplate reader. Really, it's a novel approach that can be adapted to any type of carbon source and liquid culture media.
In the introduction of your paper, I remember that you mentioned a few other protocols that already exist, and you describe the limitations. Can you elaborate a little bit more on the motivations for you to develop this novel protocol and why these previous protocols didn't work for your purposes?
Okay, the motivation relies in the big number of samples that we will bring to our laboratory from the Gulf of Mexico in the oceanographic campaigns that we participate in that place. It is associated with the limitation of the traditional methods to measure biodegradation that consists frequently in the use of the absorbance measurements. But despite these are the common methods, they have limitations because usually liquid dispersions of plastics are colloidal suspensions. It has been demonstrated that the colloidal suspensions usually lost his physicochemical properties in this type of studies. So the use of this salt XTT guarantee that really we are measuring biodegradation of the use of the carbon source. Not only we are seeing clearance of the culture media because the rupture of the colloidal suspension.
And I would like us now to go a little bit deeper into the protocol. Can you please tell us what are the most critical steps?
Yes, I think that all steps in these experiments are important, but we can highlight the importance of the previous standardization of the technique based on the use of the type of culture media and conditions like ours that requires the use of marine salts. So that requires the correct standardization of the technique.
And when you were developing the protocol, is there anything that you tried that didn't work and therefore didn't make it to the final version of the protocol? I want to have some insights on your negative results.
No, really, or fortunately, I think that there's no situation when the protocols didn't work. I will be focusing in the importance of guarantee the sterile conditions, because if there is any bacteria and any carbon source available, the use of the XTT will be evidenced if we don't guarantee the sterile conditions or good laboratory practices.
And I don't know if you have done it, but have you adapted the protocol to other plastic substrates?
Yes, we already use this protocol in our laboratory with different kinds of plastics or even with different subproducts of the degradation of plastics. For example, we already make this experiment with polycaprolactone. We already evaluate subproducts of polyethylene terephthalate like BH80 or MH80 and subproducts for plastic fabrication like polyethylene glycol. And actually, this is one of the observations of the reviewers for this article, where when they require us to prove this method with different kinds of plastics. So we are very happy because it's already used frequently in our laboratory research.
Did you have to modify the protocol to make it work with other substrates?
Really, we have not necessarily adapt anything from the protocol because it's very easy to use with different carbon source and different culture media.
I want us now to change gears a little bit and talk about the motivations that you and your colleagues had to get the protocol peer-reviewed and published as a standalone lab protocol paper in PLOS ONE.
My motivation, I think the formal proposal of this method, it can be an approach that really is very useful and hopefully will be very useful for other researchers in his works. And there is a novel approach that hopefully really can be used for other researchers. And I hope that also takes me to postdoctoral positions proposals.
So you already mentioned briefly that one of the comments from the reviewers was that they wanted to see the protocol tested in other substrates. Was there anything else the reviewers told you that shaped the final version of the protocol?
Of course, I think all the comments from the reviewers were indispensable to take the protocols at the level that we present in this publication. And I think that in any kind of publication, the works from the reviewers are very helpful to take or work with the reliability that requires any kind of work that will be published.
And what was the reason that you decided to make the peer review history public?
I think it's important to the enforcement of our work because the profundity that gives the historic of the comments with the reviewers. So give it confidence to the other lectors, to the readers.
And you have already mentioned that you hope that this protocol helps you, in furthering your career and influences your possibility of becoming a postdoctoral research. But can you tell us a little bit more about the significance that this specific protocol and the paper has had for your career? Or what do you think will have?
Okay, I think that This protocol, which I already said, gives a new approach to the investigation or to the research of plastic degradation. And also, I think that anyone who proposes a new protocol can be improve or influence the work from other researchers. And also, I think that the use of protocols.io specifically gives gives also reliability to the work that we present, because it's respalded with the type method, with the step-to-step from our experimental work.
Well, Nallely, I don't have any other questions. I don't know if you want to add anything that haven't been discussed in this conversation.
Just, I want to say about protocols.io that it has already become our day-to-day laboratory notebook from all the methods that we work in our laboratory. So we turn from the notebook, traditional notebook, to this electronic platform to guarantee the reproducibility of all the experiments in our laboratory.
Oh, that's so nice to hear. I'm really happy.
Yeah, it was really useful for us.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.